DOA.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the third episode of Dead Air Radio. I'm your host, Steve Fletch, and I also have my co-host here, Mitch Hartman. How's it going, Mitch?
Back again.
Yes. One more time, we've done it. We've defied all the odds. And today we also have a guest, our first guest, Mike from Blatant Nostalgia. Mike, how's it going?
The inaugural guest. It's going great. Just chilling, hanging out.
You're first on the list, man. That's impressive. So, Mike, how did you get into all this? Your little Instagram page, we'll say. For everybody out there who doesn't know, Mike runs the page Blatant Nostalgia, and it's a lot of early 2000s, I guess it's safe to say, early 2000s skate clips and whatnot.
Yeah, for the most part. I try and dig a little deeper sometimes, but yeah, for the most part, it's like shit I grew up with because I am 33. So for like 10 years, I didn't skate at all from between like 18 and 28 for like whatever reasons, just got into other things. And so when I started getting back into it, I needed to know what was happening, I guess. And so I just started like collecting clips that I liked that reminded me like what it felt like to like watch something and get sparked and want to go skate. And then also started just like following new shit so I could understand what was going on, what new brands were out and whatever. And then I started to like just post clips on my personal Instagram, like in my stories. And I realized that like not all of my friends care because they don't skate. So I just made a second Instagram, one to just like post stuff for fun and to follow more skate accounts. Because I realized as I was doing that on my personal, my actual friends were getting feeded out. And then that just kind of like became a thing.
So which one are you on more now? The personal or the blatant?
Oh, no, definitely nostalgia every goddamn day. Oh, my God. Too much. Far too much.
It gets consuming.
Yeah, it really does. Like, there's been times where it's felt like a job, and I'm like, all right, I need to take like a week off of this. But for the most part, it's really fun. And, like, interacting with people, for the most part, is cool. And, yeah, it's just, I like putting, like, I guess a personal, as often as I can, like a personal touch to, like, the caption of why I like it or, like, a funny thing. And then that people, like, will gravitate towards that, I think. And then like we'll have a discussion about like our similar stupid nostalgia, which is fun.
That's definitely one of the first things I noticed is like the captions are all like, it's not just like, here's this person at this spot. It's like what attracted you to that clip and what made it interesting to you.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's like a fun way to do it. Cause I mean, there's a ton of our accounts like mine, right? And they're all super good, but like they're all exactly kind of the same. It's just like skater's name, person who filmed it, video came out in, cut and dry, which is like fine because like the clips speak for themselves obviously, but I just like putting a little more to it so people can like, because you know we all watch something and there's a reason we like what we like and like we're not discussing it. So I think that's a fun part to do, or a fun thing to do with it.
Because that's what it is. There's a lot of them out there, and then it's where there's a caption or something, and you read it and it can be funny. It's just, oh yeah, I feel the same way, or it's cool to even spark conversation on it where you're not just just going to this page to watch clips and, you can almost talk about it.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, I definitely noticed like, because I looked at a bunch of them today, just going over it again. And it's like, there's ones where it's stuff that I point out. I'm like, oh, the thing that he really likes is definitely the part of it that stuck out to me. And then other times where I was like, I've seen that clip 100 times and never caught that little, thing towards the end, or like the thing you like. There's one with like Alyssa has that LA high line.
Oh yeah,
and you're like, the back foot like Greco on the switchback heel, and I was like, damn, I've like seen that clip. I've seen bootleg 3,000 a million times, but just that little like nuance thing at the end.
Yeah, so it's like little things like that. I think we all can pick out of different clips, and it's fun to like discuss it rather than just like put it out there and then like it just is there.
So when you got back into skating, what was the biggest shock? Like being out of it for 10 years. And when you came back, was there anything you were like, what the hell happened? Or were you like, 5 boards?
Yeah. Honestly, it was trying to find a size that was comfortable again. Because like when I stopped skating, I was riding 775s, so I bought one. Fuck, that was a terrible idea. Like at least to start off with again. So like I skated that anyway. Like I tried to, didn't really do very well with it. Went up to an 8, which was comfortable enough. But then I was like, I was working, I was making decent. Like I'm an adult now, I can just buy boards, So I would buy different sizes, even if I had one, just to like see if maybe one was more like. So everyone's riding 825, so I was like, oh, I'll try that. Like that was way too big. So I kind of settled on 8.1, but like I definitely tried a ton of sizes. And now I'm actually going back, or like I'll try going back down. Like I got that 7.5 from you, Steve. So because I thought that'd be just fun to kick around on, to see if I could do some sick triple flips.
Yeah, it's so crazy because I remember riding 7.62 forever. I probably rode 7.62s for probably 10 years, and
yeah,
now it's like 8.25. And it's been like, oh, I've been using 8.25 for about 8-9 years, on and off a little, but it's just funny how that goes. And I look at that like a 7.5 or something now. I'm like, how did I do this?
Yeah. How did anybody do that? How did anybody jump down the rails on like these tiny pieces of wood?
It's crazy. I had one of those Javante Turner remakes I rode. I tried it out and I was like, this is kind of cool. And then I'm kind of like, this is going to mess with me so bad. Like, one, I'm never going to find this again. Two, like, it was just weird, but it was fun. I was like, man, but I remember I was like riding boards that small. Now I don't even understand it. Getting trucks that small. And
the first day I rode that 7.5, I was like so startled by like just how it felt. But then after like an hour, it just, like eventually a board just feels like a board. And I got 2 clips on it. So I was like, cool. Like they're not great clips, but I'm like, cool, I got clips on a 7.5 board.
Yeah. Did you have to go get all new trucks and wheels and all that?
Oh yeah. Like I bought, I decided to try like Ace trucks for the first time. So I bought like 7.5 Ace trucks, which they broke on me. Or they didn't break, but like the kingpin fucking fell out or some shit. I gotta get a new one.
There we go.
Yeah.
Ace trucks.
Exactly. Every friend of mine tells me to skate them, and I was like, I just stick with Ventures. Those are my trucks.
That's I end up back there. Mitch, what trucks are you riding now?
Still on Ventures. I tried to go down to the 8 and I couldn't do it because I can't ride the 5.6 Ventures. The wide turning on the 5.8 is like, it's such a difference that I'm sticking with the 8.25s and the 5.8 Ventures. Like it's just the way to go for me.
The only thing I hate about Ventures is like I put my boards together like by hand, like with a screwdriver and shit. So because of the way the hanger is, you can't like put a
skate tool in there.
Yeah, exactly. It's the worst part about them. But other than that, they're the best trucks to me.
See, on the wide ones, it doesn't do that either. The way the hanger is, like the shape of it sits right, that you can just put it right in.
Oh, no way. So 5.8s, you can use a skate tool. Ventures are weird like that too, because that 5.8, I'm gonna say those 5.8s, we always joke about it. Like you can ride
they're magical
from 8.3 to probably an 8. It's really weird.
I rode them on an 8.1 for a while, and they were completely fine.
Yeah,
but then you can put them on like an 8.5, and they still work.
See, that's so I have a pair of 5.8s. I have a pair of 5.6s that I unhooked, and I have 5.2 lows, which I always use. And it sucks because I can't use those. Like I would love a flat 8.3, and I have to put washers in the axles to could be my bearing problem.
To move the wheels out?
Yeah, because I hoverboard so bad. So that's why I ended up just going back to 8.2. But yeah, 5.2 lows.
Well, that's P-Braz skates. Slow. P-Braz is skating 5.2s right now. And he's like grinded through to the axle, but refuses to take them off. So I gave him my 5.6s that I rode for like 2 weeks. And he's just like, I just don't want to do it. He's like, I can't bring myself to put new trucks on.
I have a friend just like that. He is the king of slappy crooks. And so there's that just like that one groove in his front truck that is just like to the bone, but like we'll skate them until they actually break apart.
Yeah, that's what he said. He's like, I'm just gonna run it until it snaps in half because I'm just so comfortable with it.
See, the trick is to take the old bushings out and you put those in your new trucks. That's what I used to do because now they're like broken in.
I've never like switched around anything with my setups. Like I don't have like setup madness like a lot of people do. Like the only thing I do is put the wheel graphics on the inside. That's about it. And like
Oh, that was last
yeah.
week's
Yeah,
conversation.
I was
I
gonna
know,
say,
yeah,
he's
yeah.
gonna fight you now.
Oh, I heard.
Listen, the fact that he said he puts it together with a screwdriver should have gotten you right away, Steve.
Yeah, well, I already
Phillips
got caught,
bolts.
Mike. Yeah.
Well, you know, I meant like whatever. I
Right,
honestly,
you got caught.
I take whatever hardware I get. I don't buy hardware. I just like grab like whatever. But yeah, you're right. Most of the time it is Phillips. So I am the enemy.
Anyway, for our next guest, we have Paul Rodriguez. Oh, well, next time I send you something, I'll send you some Allen hardware.
All right, cool.
With 500 Fahrenheit, I would get people mailing me hardware nonstop.
Really?
Just because you hated it so much?
Well, they were like, yeah, Allen. Anybody who had Allen hardware brands would just send me hardware, and it was kind of like, oh my god, this is amazing. Like I'm in heaven.
Yeah.
And then it got to the point where it was like, now I'm like the hardware whore. Like I have to like tell all these people, you know, like, oh, and this guy, and this guy, and this guy, you know, which was cool. There was 88 hardware.
Now I'd want people sending you Phillips hardware just to
no
give you shit about it.
Yeah,
Here's a whole
honestly,
box of them.
We have to make that the trend for this podcast.
Phillips hardware.
Send Phillips hardware to PO box. Yeah.
Oh god, yeah. But it was crazy. Like they'd send me stuff. This one dude, Matt, he had this eat shit hardware. He would send me that. I used a bunch of it. Yeah, it was like all the time, and I was just like, oh my god, all this, you know, this Allen hardware.
Although to be fair, and it's probably just a part of my upbringing in skateboarding when I was coming up. That's what was popular, was Phillips hardware. So that's kind of what I always had.
You had nobody.
Oh yeah, I didn't
you.
start on the Allen thing until years into it.
Yeah.
Did
so
you
it's
guys
just kind of like yeah.
Did you guys start skating at skate parks?
So, yeah.
We didn't
sort
really
of.
have skate parks.
There's one in my hometown. It was like eventually there was two, but there was one when I started. We called it Ghetto Park. I mean, for lack of a better word, it was just like it was in like the low income housing neighborhood, which is like nothing in my hometown because it's New Hampshire. But we were kids, so we didn't know any better. But yeah, it was just like, it was honestly, I loved it to death, but it was a terrible skate park. It was just like one big box with like, I guess like a big fun box, right? A bank on one side, quarter pipes, like 3-foot quarter pipes on the other three, a mani pad with a square and round rail on either side, and then like an up, straight, and down ledge, and then like a 4-foot quarter pipe. And that was the whole park. So it wasn't bad. Like, yeah, I mean, it was a nice place to like learn mani tricks and like grind, because you could like hop on the flat bar, like on the man, because the rail on the mani pad was like not on the sides, they were like up on that, like they were on the side, but they were up. So like the mani pad's here and the rail is like this
on top of it.
So
yeah,
on top of it. So you could like get on the round rail and just like sit on it. So you could like learn kind of how to balance like 5-0s out. So that was cool.
See, when I grew up many moons ago, like we didn't have skate parks. That was like, unless you had to pay to go to them, like there wasn't anything. But I remember like we'd go to the banks. That's when we started learning, like you'd see all the pros or whatever, and they all had Allen hardware. And I was like, cool, I have that. Like this is what they all ride. And it was just like a thing it was like an unwritten rule.
We had cheapskates. That was the only park that was like even remotely close to me. Steve, did I ever tell you my Tom Boyle cheapskate story?
Tom Boyle.
Yeah, he's from Jersey. Well, no, he's
on New School. But... He was on New School. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, you never did.
Oh yeah, the first time I went to cheapskates, we were like, just dumb kids and like got helmets and had to rent everything because we had to wear. I think you had to wear full pads there when we were like kids. But I took Tom Boyle's helmet that was sitting like on the counter right above where the rental helmets were, and like started to like walk into the park. And he was like a grown ass man at this point, and I was terrified because he's like, "Where are you going?" And he was like a super nice dude, like, but just scared the shit out of me. I was like, "Why is this adult screaming at me?"
That's so funny. He was like, "Give me my helmet, boy."
Yeah, because he was like known for that like blue helmet, and I'm just like, "Oh, just didn't know. Sorry, my bad."
Yeah, imagine being known for a helmet.
Can you name 2 pros that are known for having a helmet and the color of it?
Andy Mack.
I mean, like. Yeah, and then Andy Anderson, all the Andys.
Those are what I was going for. God, Andy Mack. Is he still like a skater? Does he still?
I don't know. We skated some spot pretty much North Philly a couple weeks ago, and this random like neighborhood dude came in, And he was like, just, being a little sketchy, like eyeing us up. And then he came over and he's like, y'all know Andy Mack? I'm like, that is the most random name you could have come up with. But he was like, yeah. It's like, when the X Games were here, and it's like, that had to be like 20 years ago at this point. But he's like, yeah, when the X Games were here, he's like, I met those guys. I'm like, and you remembered that dude's name.
Like
So
funny.
The least relevant pro skater ever. All right, and we're back. So we're here again. If you hadn't been listening, I don't know how you wouldn't have heard, but we're here with Mike from Blatant Nostalgia, and we're going to go to a few questions. Mitch, you want to start it off?
All right, so Hayden Cole, Cobra, said, what's your opinion on the proper way to switch push?
I mean, I love me a good switch bongo, but also like regular pushing switch is fine to me. I'm least controversial with that.
There's some people where it clearly stands out that you're like trying too hard to make the switch mongo.
Oh, right.
Where it's like, dude,
yeah, I feel like if
you can switch backtail something that's as high as your chest, you can probably switch push.
Yeah, I feel like if it's not something naturally you just did when you started skating switch, like just don't force it.
Yeah, some people force it and it looks bad. But then other people like Jameer and Tiago, like it looks so natural to them doing it that it makes sense.
It's a
Right.
weird one because I remember starting like skating and then learning switch. It was definitely switch Mongo. And I remember going to Philly and my friend Zeb Snyder was there and we're skating. And he was like, you can switch your 60 flip. You can't switch push. He's like, what the hell's wrong with you? And he's like, Guy Mariano, switch pushes. You got to switch push. So I was like, oh no. And I tried and I was like, I can't do this. So I remember making myself skate switch only for like 3 weeks just to learn how to switch push. I guess I don't want to say it paid off, but it helped. So I guess it was kind of forced, but now I can't go back to it. Like I wouldn't be able to switch Mongo now because I know how to switch push. There's no point.
Right. Yeah. To be fair, to shoot myself in the foot, when I first, like the first like 6 months I ever had a skateboard, I pushed Mongo because I was that kid. So that in turn makes me a switch pusher.
Yeah, I feel like that always helps.
Chris Cole.
Yeah, for sure.
And then you have somebody like Wade that films a line where he does both in the same line.
That drives me
Yeah.
crazy. Kalis too.
I actually just posted a clip of Carol doing that. I think it was like an accident, but he's switch pushing and then goes to switch Mongo.
Oh, it's so weird. That one always drove me crazy. Like, oh, come on, you guys are killing me.
My favorite is when somebody's taking the turn a little too hard and will like push behind themselves. Like their foot will almost reach around behind.
Oh, what is my friend Connor White has a name for that. He calls that something when they put Mark Johnson is like the king of the push behind.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. What is the name for that? Oh,
He calls it jazz foot or something.
Yeah, the jazz push.
Yeah, jazz push.
Oh,
I never
name for it.
I had never heard of that, but everyone I think I posted that line of Mark Johnson. Everyone commented jazz push, and I was like, all right, I guess that's what it's called.
We're too old to know what these kids are talking about. But what I was going to say before is that with Hayden Cole, he texted me a clip of JB from like the New Deal promo back in '96. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, this is sick. And he's like, yeah, he's effing Mongo pushing. Like he could learn how to push. I'm like, dude, this is almost 30 years ago. Like, I was like, you're killing me, dude. So screw you, Cobra.
Yeah, he's a switch Mongo pusher, I think.
But does he still?
JB?
I don't think so.
I feel like I can see that. Like I picture like that hotel spot that they all skate. I feel like I don't know. I could totally be wrong, but I feel like that's.
He'd be allowed though. I mean, he's been skating long enough. I guess does that play into it too? Like if you're skating for X amount of time, that it's okay.
Yeah, certain people get a pass no matter what.
I think it's cool again. Like, oh, that's OG. You can switch Mongo. I
mean, shit, look, like I said, Jameer does it.
And it looks cool. Like you said.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
All right. Well, here's the big question of the evening. We're gonna peek right here because this seems to be what everybody wants to know. Sight unseen or the reason? Being
young, I'm gonna say sight unseen. Just that Heath part really did it for me. You got Cairo in the reason. That was sick.
Yeah, Stevie.
Stevie.
That's all I remember from that video.
Mumford.
Yeah, you're not doing it.
I was like, I forgot Mumford was in that, honestly.
Isn't there's like a Danny Montoya? Danny Montoya's in it, right?
Oh, true. The Toya. I love Danny Montoya. One of the best guys to me. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know why I'm blanking on who else is in sight unseen right now, but all I can think of is
Henry and Marcus. That's all I remember.
Yeah.
Was Cardiel in it?
Yeah, that's the Cardiel part.
Yeah, that's the Cardiel one, yeah.
I think I'd like it now. I used to just skip it. That was it. Henry Sanchez, Marcus, done. That's all I needed.
Yeah, that makes sense for you.
Yeah. That's it. Like I honestly I'm surprised I remembered Cardiel was in it. I don't remember anybody else in it. Was P-Rod? No, they were in Bloom, right?
That was was the Cole, Mikey Taylor.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever watched that video.
And Trainwreck.
God, I've seen that. Bloom? Dude, so in Bloom.
Yeah, he was in that. Pretty sure. But...
Trainwreck was in that, and we have the premiere copy of that. In the video that came out, he skates a Slayer or something. But in the premiere copy, he skates to a 3-6 Mafia song. And the edit is so much better.
I would have loved to have seen that. That's amazing.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah, that was like the all-am video, right? P-Rod, Mikey Taylor, Alex Skull.
Cole.
Oh, who was
TNT?
The dude who's in jail was in it.
Evan Hernandez.
Yeah.
Evan Hernandez, yeah.
He's just this little guy.
Yeah.
I remember the video I haven't seen. I could tell you who was in it, but I couldn't tell you who's in Sight Unseen and the reason, except for Stevie.
Honestly, that was like, it was probably a pretty good video, but that was probably the video I watched the least was the Am video. Totally. I don't know why.
Which one was Trujillo in? Was he
that
in
same one? Yeah, he's the first part.
How do I know?
Kickstart My Heart.
You know what?
Motley Crue song.
I can't lie. I remember working at a shop when this came out, so it must have been playing, but I never sat there to watch it because I was just like, I don't care about any of these dudes. So I probably have.
That was like right when I first started working at G-Spot, so like we were always playing it because Chris had a part. So it was.
That was 2004, right? That came out.
It might have been it must have been like 2002, 2003. Because Dying to Live was 2003, and it was before that.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Because that was all like the end of his like Enjoy Board footage.
Oh, the good old days of Transworld videos that mattered.
Dude, that section from like video 9 to video 13 were probably the best ones with like from The Reason to In Bloom. With, like, Modus.
I guess it also depends who you like. For me, for sure, but I think I've gone back and watched like the first few videos. Just like some of those parts are amazing. Like,
oh yeah,
I mean, that one, what is it, Uno? Is it that Tom Penny when he kills that one spot?
Mm-hmm.
Like a classic, right? But like, it's still like amazing to watch. Like, watch that over and over and over again.
I never watched the old Transworld video, like the old ones. What was there? Uno, 4-wheel drive. I remember never watching.
Yeah.
Or have seen it once and never like. There was one with like Richard Angelidis and Cheney. I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
But I remember seeing them as like half-rate videos. Like I never really.
Oh yeah.
They were overproduced, which I'd make fun of now. But then I was like, oh, these are cool.
Yeah, I think like running this Instagram, I like watch skate videos every day. It's just I go back to like a bunch of things now, and I can like really appreciate because I never really watched those videos when I was a kid because like they were older and like I was watching what was happening like in my time. So
and there was a lot coming out in that
exactly
era.
Yeah, exactly. Like I mean, like the mags were like fucking 500 pages. The videos were 45-50 minutes. So and they were coming out like every couple weeks. So
quite a time to be a skateboarder back then.
Yeah, man, all the backpack ads, baby.
Oh god. Yeah. There was like 50 backpack companies. It's so crazy. There was like Yoo-Hoo ads in the magazines.
Yeah. But how about favorite part in Eastern Exposure 3?
What do you got, Steve?
It's Ricky Oyola. The New York section was like my favorite part. But Ricky Oyola, that's the part I've watched the most, is that Ricky Oyola part. Jamal's part is also really cool, but I just always watch. If I put on that video, it's about that Ricky part.
Tim O'Connor's in the Am part, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's the part I generally ended up watching more often.
So good.
I really like Tim O'Connor. Yeah.
Wrong.
Yeah, there's no bad part. Yeah, there's no bad part.
Barley's part.
So good.
Where he skates City Hall and there's the lights in the trees.
Yeah.
And it's all black and white, so it looks super cool. It was weird to see that in that Eastern Exposure 0 that they put out later where it was in color.
I remember when that
definitely
came out. That was 1996. I remember that's the year I graduated high school. But I remember we were over some kid's apartment, and he was like, I got Eastern Exposure 3. Gino Iannucci's in it. And then it's like his one clip is this ollie in Midtown into this like bank, this super steep bank. But that was it. And he's like, that was Gino's trick. And we're just sitting there like, that's it? Like, we were expecting like, 10 minutes of Gino in this video. And
we're always expecting 10 minutes of Gino. Well, not to make you feel old, but 96 is when I started skateboarding.
Makes me depressed.
Yeah, I thought my 94 was.
Yeah, I'm like, man, wow. I was never very good.
96 is when I like got a skateboard, but I didn't really start skating until like 98, 99. Like actually finding out what skateboarding was and like all that shit.
Yeah, that's a lot. I remember having a board, and I remember my first board was this Tony Hawk, the Indy Cross one with like the chicken skull or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember having that, and it was full dip white, and I used it for like a day, and I fell and it smashed into a curb and I chipped the paint, and I was so scared my dad was going to kill me. I didn't skate for like 6-7 months because he wanted me to get a nose guard, and I was like, I'm not getting a nose guard, and he made me get a tail guard and rails. And I didn't want the tail guard, but I fought like to not have the nose guard. So I was like, fine, I'll get the tail guard. The guy at the skate shop's like, yeah, people come back because they want me to put these on because it makes the board last longer. He just wanted to sell the extra crap on there.
Right.
And if I remember, I fell and the paint chipped. I was like, he's gonna kill me. He told me to get it, and I didn't get it. Now it's the paint chipped, and I tried taping like a cigarette pack I found on the ground on the nose as like a fake nose guard. Put it in my closet for like 6-7 months, and then one day I was like cleaning my room, and I was like, oh, skateboard. And then since then it was on. It's funny how it works.
Yeah, my cousin gave me like a really beat up like hookups board, and that was like in '96. Like he just had this like the nose was pretty much gone, the tail was pretty much gone. It was just beat to shit, and I just like butt boarded, around the driveway, and then like would stand on it and like ride, but I didn't know what skateboarding actually was. And then I guess actually it was probably '99 when I really got into it, because that's right when Tony Hawk came out, and I'm a product of that generation. So when I was like, oh, watching the videos, like once you beat the game with the character and you watch the videos, that was like, oh my God, that's what skateboarding is.
What was your first board, Mitch? I think we went into this last time. I should remember this.
So I was just thinking about when you mentioned the nose and tail guard. So I had one of those Nash Executioners when I was a kid. The one with like the dragon on the bottom.
Yeah.
And, it had like the nose and the tail guard and all that shit like already on it. And I remember like I met a kid who like had like a board with like a nose and tail at that point, or like probably early. So probably had like the little like spoon nose, but it was way cooler than what I had. That was probably like 10 at this point. And I remember him telling me like, no, you got to take like those riser things off. You got to take all the plastic stuff off. So I'm like, had this crazy like cheap trucks, these giant pink wheels. And I took the risers off, and they were like inch thick, like huge risers. So I had these giant hardware, and then like, riding all low to the ground. But it was like, complete piece of crap that like you said, like I just butt boarded on it until years later.
Yeah.
And then I got a real board, and that was I got a Workshop Believe.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I've listened to all the podcasts. I was like, when you said that, I was like, oh yeah, totally. I remember you saying that.
Yeah. Still have it.
No way.
I found it at my mom's house. Yeah.
That's all. I wish I still had my first board. I'm trying to find it on eBay, because it can't be that hard to find. It's my first board that I ever got at a shop was James Craig's first pro model, like the big boy, right?
Oh,
The big gulp.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which I'm surprised my mom bought for me, because he's clearly stoned, right, on the graphic.
Yeah.
But maybe she just didn't get it.
I remember all the like world boards. I remember working at a shop around then, and but I remember there was all these weird, it was just like, oh my God, these parents. Remember we had this stupid Josh Casper board, and he's like skating over these fat ladies covered in blood, and it was like worst graphic ever. But like
Wasn't
is that the one that was
the Big
wrapped
Brother
in
cover?
plastic?
No, this one wasn't. I remember it was on the wall, and I was just like, I don't even want to know what these parents think coming in here, looking at this thing. It was so bad. Things didn't sell at all. It was horrible. James Craig.
Yeah.
So did you buy that board because it was James Craig, or you liked the graphic was?
Oh no, dude, I was a kid. I just liked the graphic. I thought it was funny.
And that's how Blind made a killing.
Yeah, exactly. All the wet willies, man.
That's what it
Yeah,
was.
I think that was my only blind board, though, because I think after that I started to realize what was kind of like who skaters were and what was cool, and like not that James Craig isn't cool, but yeah, blind was not at the time. So
It's funny how fast you pick up on that stuff.
yeah, I mean like
who's cool and
yeah, or just yeah, exactly. It's just a kind of a vibe that gets put out, right? You watch the video, like in that trip of going to buy that board, it was like my first skate shop experience. I got a complete. Like it was like I think it might have been for my birthday, because my mom definitely went all out for me. She got me a board, a pair of skate shoes, which were all black S schemes, so the bulkiest fucking most expensive shoes. Yeah, so like $100 shoes, right? A board, and then my first skate video, which was Modus Operandi. So
wow,
yeah, which like to this day probably still my favorite. Like so I had two questions. One was like favorite video, and one was favorite transfer video, and like the answer to both of these is Modus, because it's by far hands down my favorite video still.
So that was, I know Mike Carroll was in that.
Yep, Carroll, Mark Johnson, Channy, right? Brian Anderson with a little Brad Stapa. Yeah, but dude, Brian Anderson, man, like those two tricks at the very end of this part at what was it, the UCI hubba, like the back Smith and the back tail. Amazing.
Yeah.
And also just being a kid and like I don't know how old I was. I must have been 11, and putting that video in, and the first thing you see is like Mark Johnson talking about the creativity in skateboarding, and like a lot of people say it's kind of corny now because Mark Johnson is like has kind of gone off a little bit on whatever he does, but as a kid that was like very immersive, and I was like, oh my god, like the world opened up to me.
Yeah, if you ask 9 out of 10 people, they're like, what's the name of that guy that Mark Johnson talks about in that part? And everybody's like, Cliff Kaufman.
Yeah. Exactly. Cliff Kaufman can do a kickflip. Holy shit. And then I don't know why he has like that ashtray that he fucking throws and all the cigarettes go everywhere, but whatever.
But they were doing so many weird like skit things at that point.
Yeah, like
because that was like that tilt mode era.
Yeah. Yeah, he had like a postcard that just said fraud. I never really understood why, but all right. But yeah, that was just like, the most immersive thing I ever watched, and I was like, holy shit. And then after that it was like just going to the shop and buying skate videos like every other week. So my second video was like Cliche Europa for some reason, but that was cool.
I was gonna say, were you hyped on that? Because I know like the Cliche videos, I thought some of those were cool.
Oh dude, I loved
totally different
it.
spots.
I loved it. Totally different style. Or totally different vibe. And like I didn't know any better, so I didn't realize it was like even it's literally called Europa, right? But I had no idea it was actually like a European video. The guy at the shop I think he was just trying to get it off the shelf. So he's like, I would go in and be like, hey, like what videos should I buy? And he just goes like, that one.
Don't mind the dust on it, kid. Here you go.
Yeah. And dude, the JJ, I'm probably gonna pronounce his name wrong, but JJ Rousseau or however you say it.
That's what I thought it was.
Yeah, his part, it blew my mind. Like I still love that video. I still love that part. Like I would watch that shit all the time.
Steve's least favorite skater, JJ Rousseau.
Really?
Yeah, I can't say. I thought his style was terrible. He was super good. But yeah. What do I?
Yeah, and then Pontus is in it, right? Which is funny.
He's in the credits, like running around naked, right?
I mean, he's done a part, I think. No, I can't remember. Like
I think
all the skaters
But he was in the credits. I remember that. If that's what I'm thinking of.
I think so.
It was cool though. Like I remember, like around that time though, it was just to get every video, and there was always something to watch. But they didn't come out all the time, so there was always enough.
Yeah, enough.
You were
like,
able to see.
Yeah, enough like anticipation.
But it was cool because there was a video, so you bought it. That was me anyway. Like, there's a new video. I love skating. Like, we didn't have YouTube and all that, so it was like, oh, Maple Black Cat.
Yeah, exactly.
Buy this, and it's like, well, that was a waste of money. But I had it and I saw it.
I'm sure you can relate, Steve. Like, once you're working at the skate shop, every video that comes out, you buy it because you're just like, oh, it's cheap. And where I was doing the ordering, so I would be like, all right, what's new that came in? Give me one copy of everything.
Hollowed Ground. Did you guys have that one? That was the Hurley video. I want to say it was a Hurley video with like
never seen it.
Backside flipping an airplane, but it was all in like 8mm film. It was hard. We had like 10 copies of it at the shop. I mean, those things never sold. So if you would have come in as a little kid, we'd be like, oh yeah, Hollowed Ground. Here you go, dude. You want this video? It was the worst video. I'd like to think I wouldn't have done that to you.
Yeah, I'm thankful that at the time of like me being a kid and going in and just asking like for just recommendations and videos, that there was enough, like even like the bad stuff was still pretty okay.
Yeah,
like
even there were so many like weird independent videos coming out.
Exactly. So it was all. I don't think I've ever gotten a video that I really didn't like. But it also like after the Cliche video, it was just like, I think because also it was like what like Modus, Cliche Europa, and then I think I got like Manic Madi, and then eventually Sorry came out, and then it was just like buying 401s, like a lot of 401s.
411s. Yeah, those were like, that was something to look forward to. Like,
it'd
be a new one, can't wait. Those were great.
Yeah, I think we talked about this last week, but I got so lucky because my first 401 was 12 and it had Matt Reason's profiles in it. And then 13 came out like 2 weeks later and it had that Philly retrospective. So everything I was like
looking for,
like stuff where I live and like trying to totally relate to it.
I don't remember what my first one was. I can't remember. I think I just was buying because there was already so many out before I had started skating that I just like, I think I bought older ones and then I bought like the ones that were coming out like at the time. So I don't remember what the first one was. I remember just watching a lot of them all the time.
Oh yeah. Even then, that was another one where it's like, even when they weren't great, there was some part in there that you're like, all right, this part's good at least.
Exactly. Yeah.
Or they had like a chaos and you could pray someone you wanted to watch was in one of those, you know?
Exactly.
Because there were some of them that was just like, oof, like this video sucks. And, but then, you know, there's always something like, I remember I'd always be like into the world guys, you know? And it'd be like, oh, well, there was like, you know, I don't know, like a Cream Campbell trick in the chaos. So it was cool. But yeah, there's some bad ones, some random ones. I always wondered how that worked too, like submitting footage and how these people got in it. And, you know.
I mean, it seems like whoever they're going, like now that I've rewatched like essentially all of them over the last 3 years, it seems like, you know, they had people in mind that they want to work with. And then it's like every one of their homies is in the chaos. Or like they're all kind of like tied together somehow. It's what it usually seems like. Yeah.
I got a question here from Rodrigo Yepes. Who had a better part in Sight Unseen, in your opinion? Henry Sanchez and Heath Kirchart? Which one?
I mean, I'm going to go Heath just because, I don't know. It's just Heath to me. That was a great part. They're both great, but.
I'm not a Heath Kirchart fan, and that was like a great part. Song was amazing.
Like, yeah, I think the editing really like.
Yeah, it was well put together.
And like
it was like yeah, it was like emotional, that part.
It's kind of cool then, like when you hear these songs, you know, like I always think that's one of these things too. Like you could be out somewhere, like at the mall or something, you know, or whatever, and that song will come on, you know, and it's like, oh, that was Heath Kirchart's song.
Mm-hmm. You're at the mall a lot, eh?
No, I haven't been to the
mall. No, but for sure. I mean, I work in like bars and restaurants and stuff, and so whenever like a random song pops on, like I hear from, I just like stop for a second, whatever I'm doing, I'm just like, oh yeah, that part, and then I keep working.
Oh. My one story is there's this dude John Oswald out here, and he was on this local company, Number 9, which was Chapman before Chapman.
I had one
in that video. What's that?
I had one of those.
You had a Number 9?
Yeah, I bought it from Sub. Wow. And everybody like hated on me because they were like, "What is that?"
Did you have the one that was like a pool ball, or was it like with some kid?
Yes, it was like black and orange.
Okay. Yeah.
Is that the brand? Is that the brand that Gerber was on?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So, and then Dan, when we went to Fio's skate shop when you came out here, and I took you there. Like, yeah, he screened those boards. That's so funny. But they had a video, and the dude John Oswald was in it, and his song, like I remember like multiple times going to the dentist, and his song would come on. It was like some kind of classical music, but it's on, you know, getting my teeth drilled, and it's just like doo 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 doo, and I'm like, oh, it's John Oswald's song. So I always thought it was cool though. It's like one of those things like
I always hear
you can relate to music.
Oh yeah, I always hear I don't know why the name of the song is blanking on me, but Jerry Fowler's song from what was that terrible board company, DNA?
Mm-hmm. Continuum, right?
Yeah. What is this song? Why can't I think of the name of that song? Yeah.
Living a life of illusion.
That.
I don't know.
Yeah, I hear that one all the time. I don't know why, but it's maybe I just pick up on it now, or like I hear it like I feel like weekly.
Talk about sleeper parts. Oh, Mitch, you've seen that video, right?
Yeah, once. Not like heavy rotation, but I've seen it.
Minus the shitty GL2 filming, man. That part was like amazing. My dog even seems to think so.
I don't think there's a bad Jerry Fowler part. I mean, it was funny that like last year at some point I became like the Jerry Fowler poster. Just post everything he's ever had a clip of. I'm just like, I'm gonna just put that up there because people just should look at it.
It's so good. So
Man.
Good.
There was a Jerry Fowler Northern board on eBay, and I should have grabbed it, and it went so fast. And it was like dirt cheap.
You know who was selling that? I'll bet Jerry Fowler was selling it. He was selling a bunch of stuff on there. All right. Robert Maz. Mitch, you know him.
Yeah, that's Mazzatelli. That's the homie.
Yeah. Favorite filmer?
Man, I should really have an answer for this, but I feel like I don't. I'm just gonna say Ty because like all the Transworld videos I really loved were like him and who else was making those? Was
John
Greg
Holland.
Hunt? John Holland, yeah. But yeah.
One time I met John Holland. There was this one time, like, so I was working at the shop and there was a Circa demo and they needed somebody to take them around. And I remember I was like, they need somebody with a generator. That's what it was. And I had a generator, and I was like, all right, you know, and they're like, yeah. I was like, are they going to compensate me? Cause it was like, I hate Circa. I don't care. But, you know, and I'm thinking they're like, yeah, they'll send you some shoes or something, you know? And I was like, I don't care. I'll sell them, like whatever, something to do. So I remember taking them around, and we had to go to Long Island City. They wanted to go to some spots there. And I remember it was like Caswell Berry and John Holland was there. Chris Cole was there. Mitch, you weren't there, were you?
Not in Long
I
Island.
wouldn't have known. You know what I mean? Like I'm thinking, but I know there was Chris Cole had.
No, I skated with them on that same trip where they came here.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a whole different story of Colt Cannon and Appleyard just being those dudes.
It was so weird. But I remember so we're all sitting there. I remember the team manager's name was Baby Ice or something.
Ryan Reyes.
Yeah, and I was like, what? Like he had it written on his grip tape. And even at the shop we were working at, he was like trying to get, let me get some Swiss bearings. I'm like, who are you? What are you getting this stuff? Get out of here. Yeah, he wanted to like, I'll send you some shoes for it. You know, like I don't need Circas. But I remember like 2 weeks later, I was like, dude, where's my shoes? And the guy was like, I knew this would happen. And, you know, I'm like, no, dude, where's my shoes? He's like, I think he was just hoping I'd be like, oh, I was so happy to be there. And I was like, yeah, dude, like I had no desire to be there. I want shoes. And he sent them. He was like, not happy at all. But I don't know the point of that story, but that happened.
Because you were talking about meeting the filmer.
Yo, John Holland was there, and he was real cool. And I was kind of like, I remember that because I was like, I had a VX, and I was like, this is somebody now who actually like does this for a living. And I was kind of like asking him, I was like, can I ask you some questions? And he was really cool. So
that's cool. That's it.
Yeah. He was totally like, I was like, yeah, I have one of these, and like, you know, but he was like, yeah, this is cool, and this is, you know, I asked him talking about batteries or something. Like he didn't get into like, this is how you set up the camera. I wish I would have been like, how do you set this up? I have my camera I should have brought my camera with me. Like, hey, I can film an alternate angle or something, and, you know, set up my camera so it matches yours, and, you know, figured all that stuff out, but I didn't do that. But yeah, he was cool. He was really cool. So
yeah, favorite filmer, I might have to go Penny. All the sabotage videos.
Oh yeah.
Masters
Super
of their
good.
craft.
Indeed they are.
I just love, like, especially somebody that can film and skates so damn good too.
Yeah, like that clip from that recent video that kind of went wild everywhere, but doing the switch heel flip aerial while filming.
Yeah.
I wonder how long that took.
I don't know.
I'm just gonna like pretend. I'm just gonna use my illusion to pretend that was first try, like just casual first try.
Yeah, somebody just happened to capture it.
Exactly.
I always have to try and ruin things.
All right, so while we're doing Maz questions, since we're all different ages, this will be a funny one. So it's sophomore year, 70 degrees and sunny. What are you wearing, riding, and where are you headed?
Oh shit. All right, sophomore year. I'm trying to.
Yeah, it's a weird year for all of us.
Year that. Yeah, no, I'm trying to think of what actual year that was. I think this would have been like 2003. What was I wore such dumb shit. I was like I was such a punk kid in high school. So I was probably wearing some stupid tight fucking pants. Just a pair of Vans, some band shirt of a band I probably don't care about anymore. And yeah, I'm probably just like, my hometown actually had some great street spots. So I was probably just going to skate street after school, looking like an idiot, looking like a little mini piss drunks kid.
So what were you doing, Mitch?
So that would be like 96. So I was probably wearing like some DC Syntax. Chances are I was riding like Silver Star boards and like 64 millimeter wheels, like some giant setup, you know, trying to be, you know, Rick and those guys. Yeah, I don't know. Just, that was probably the year that I met a lot of the dudes that I like skated with heavy for like that first couple years of skating was like 96. Because 95 I was just learning, and that's like I just got my first board, but that was like 96 when I started like going out places and like trying to skate, you know, spots.
Isn't it funny how that happens too? It's like there's that point though when you're like, all right, now I started venturing out. Now I started skating stuff and meeting other people, and
Yeah.
the best part of skating, man.
Yeah, meeting kids at the skate park. I also had like kids in my neighborhood. There was like 3 kids that like we kind of just formed a little like foursome skate group, and we would just go skate the same like 5 spots every day after school. But also, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say. So around this time, I'm thinking, were you like into BAM and all that stuff?
No, I was more into like flip, like Raleigh. Sorry, like Ardo is probably my favorite skater for the longest time. I mean, still is one of them. But I was big on that. So like I think the tight pants and stupid shit like that also was part of like just like the Hesh look, right? Like I liked Jeff Rowley, I liked Artosari. I actually didn't even care that much for Bulala, but and then a lot of like, you know, Reynolds and tight fucking pants and Greco and shit like that. And then I was also just like going to punk shows and going to hardcore shows and all that stupid shit. So
It all went
Steve,
hand.
your kids never got skinny, did they?
Like the spandex skinny jeans, no, never. That I can proudly say never happened.
I was a somewhat chubby dude still wearing like Greco jeans. I don't know what I was thinking. I see pictures and I'm like, man, I met my wife dressed like that, and she still.
Oh yeah, I was definitely going to like the Salvation Army, getting like stretch jeans, like women's stretch jeans. I thought I was the coolest punk kid.
She worked at the Gap, so she would buy me women's stretch jeans, but she'd buy them from like the big girl section because I was like,
oh man.
Yeah, no, I never got into that one. But
yeah, as far as like board, I guess I probably was riding off some flip board. I was never particular, I think at the time, at like of like wheels and trucks and shit. I just whatever board looked cool and felt good.
I had many of flip boards. Lots of spray paint and many of flip boards. Those were the go-to. Like they were so flat. Me and my one friend, we would rip them all off as soon as like the shop got a shipment of flip boards, we'd just put them and then we'd stack them all on top of each other and find the flattest ones. And so it's funny. Like I never really liked any of those dudes, but I probably had like all, you know, probably
all their boards. Yeah.
Ali Bilal's salary off of, you know, flip boards.
oh man, so you weren't like into Sorry when it came out?
No, I fucking hate all that stuff.
Get out of here.
That's
really?
crazy to me.
I never got
even
into
like Appleyard?
Oh, the worst. Crappleyard. Yeah, he sucks.
Oh.
He's a jock, dude. I could care like all those dudes. And it's crazy. Like none of it. And
wow,
like
that's
I've
wild.
appreciated Tom Penny like more recently, never. But I rode so many of those goddamn boards. And which is funny. But yeah, flip, I never was
Oh,
into.
dude, I burned the hell out of that VHS when I was a kid. It's funny, like, I don't actually watch that video a lot anymore, except for like Ardo's part or like Bastion's part. But as a kid, that was one of my go-to videos for sure.
Not to plug another podcast, but Vert Button talked about Sorry this week, and it sent me down that rabbit hole of like,
oh, yeah.
I had to go and watch the whole thing.
Well, this actually leads into a question.
You got Johnny Rotten? Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. So after seeing this is from Brian Henrik, Point and Click. After seeing the Chalmers post, I wondered who you think deserved more appreciation when they were in their prime.
Oh, just in general?
I'm assuming. That's weird. Did you say something in that Chalmers post that would
No. I mean I did, but nothing about like not being appreciated.
Oh, but I guess he was pretty underrated, dude.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, his part for a lot of people, I feel like just went by, and he ripped. That part was amazing.
I think he was just park heavy was the issue.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. There was a lot of flyouts.
It was a lot of flyouts. But I don't know. I love that because it was just like gnarly fast and just like kind of funny. I like my favorite part of skate videos is like the nonsense shit, like the little in between or the after credit shit. I love that stuff. So like all like the personality. So like all like the drinking Coca-Cola's bullshit was like funny to me.
It's cool to know these dudes are real humans at the end of the day, and like stuff they have their things they're into, and
yeah,
you know, like even the quotes from the videos, like that's like a done thing now, but it used to be. So I remember like Sheffy in the Plan B video, like I don't understand the vibes about skating rocks. Like, we used to just say that, or we'd be like, look, we're going to skate a rock and say it. Like, you know, figuring out who Pinky Tuscadero was, that was like huge for us. Like, who the hell, what is he saying? And I remember my friend's mom, like, Pinky Tuscadero, that's from Happy Days. It was the Fonzie's girlfriend.
Yep.
You know, and, but it was like, we had no clue. I'm like, what? Like, we didn't even know what he was saying, but it was just so cool to, you know, hear these things. These are like your idols, you know, and
Yeah,
like
there's whenever there's one that like sticks out, like that Lakai trip where MJ breaks the tail off his board.
Oh yeah,
back
off
by
the nose.
Yeah, exactly. Shit like that.
Look at the clouds, fool. Yeah. Literally anything.
Feeble in that era, as corny as he is now, was like so quotable and hysterical.
Yeah. The funniest shit. Yeah, like one of my favorite clips of all time is they're asking people what words he learned on the trip. and he's like, monotonous. I have no idea what it means, but it's just like monotonous. It's sick.
Oh my God. But he was like, it was like the best. He was like this lovable jock.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, when they end that video and like just end it, fade to black with people dropping down to a push up.
Yeah. You gotta get in the water program, man. You gotta drink water. Well, yeah, I could quote people all day.
Yeah, speaking of Alex Chalmers, they came through X Park when they were on King of the Road, and Chalmers made out with some kid's mom. Like the kid, like one of the challenges was like you got to make out with moms or whatever, and this kid like pretty much like offered up his mom, like, "Hey, she's right there." Like you guys, and they like went into the back room, and like they filmed him making out with his kid's mom, and that kid like never lived it down.
Oh my God,
so funny,
too funny. But yeah, but I guess I don't know. I can't think of anyone on top of my head. Like, there's a ton of, I guess, underappreciated skaters, I'm sure, but off the top of my head, I can't think of like a particular guy or anyone.
You got anyone, Mitch?
I don't know. I'm trying to think now. Like, oh man,
Jerry Fowler.
Yeah,
we appreciate it, but
yeah. But I also feel like, coming from my perspective now of like putting all his footage on my Instagram, like I feel like now I'm just like, all right, he's out there, even though obviously like his, you know what I mean. But also,
my part.
Yeah, exactly. I do like seeing Jamie Reyes kind of have a little comeback on Instagram right now.
Dude, she's the best.
Yeah, like I don't know if she was. I mean, I feel like women at the time in general were underappreciated, but yeah, she's one of the best ever. So it's cool to like see her kicking around.
Yeah, she could switch backside tail slide. I mean, she was good. Skated the city, so it was always like cool spots, and you know, I used to love all those like in those older like what is there, the cinematographers, but you know, the old one, not the newer version of that, but the New York section. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so good.
Yeah, she's really good friends with one of my friends that lives in Richmond, and they skate together. Like they skated together yesterday, and like he'll send me clips of like them just hanging out. I'm like, damn, I got to get down there. Like I want to hang out with Jamie.
I feel like yeah, I feel like right now, like on Instagram, she's like filming herself with like her like driveway like security camera. It's actually kind of funny.
And they responded. Cool. Did you see? They like Ring commented on it, and they're like, "These are awesome tricks." Well, I like commented back to her. I was like, "Oh, you're gonna get sponsored by Ring."
That's awesome.
It's cool.
And she's got a board coming out on Reel. It's like in stores soon. I just got it.
It's cool to see ex-pros still skating. Like that they still love it, you know, not like, you know, who were like I remember doing Northern, and like Nate Jones, like he hadn't skated in forever. I think even after like maybe he pushed around once, but he wasn't skating. You know what I mean? Like just these people who still skate, like that she's skating. Like it's awesome. Like,
all the time.
They still love it. Yeah. So respectable.
Yeah, I feel like I've talked to a handful of pros like through whatever that are just like so burnt out on the industry. I'm just like, and it kind of bums me out. I'm like, oh, I should not meet my heroes.
Yeah. And I get the part about getting burned out. Like, sure, this industry, you know, chew you up, spit you out, and you got nothing to, you know, show for it. But it's still skating, which is amazing, and that's the fun part, you know. And it's weird to see people, especially so talented, like just over it. Like,
yeah, and it sucks when you know they can still do it.
Yeah, but again, if it's not fun, don't do it.
Oh no, I'm just saying like, but if you still have it in there, like every once in a while you'll see something of like Julio, and you're like, damn, he still got it. Like,
Yeah, and he's got it good.
Yeah.
yeah,
So good. Hopefully there's a part coming out. That'd be. I wonder. Do you think he'll ever have another part?
I mean, I'd like to hope so, but I feel like he's just gonna like, he'll skate the skate park or skate like a random spot and just throw some clips up on Instagram once every like 7 months. And
Yeah, he's more into his numbers. All right. We're going to go to another song, and we'll be right back. All right, and we're back. And again, here with Mike of Blatant Nostalgia, my co-host here, Mitch Hartman, and myself. So we're going to go to a few more questions. Well, Mike, you have a question, right? You said somebody asked you a question?
Yeah, question from Side Effect Goods. Just where is this man from? Midwest, I presume. I do live in Chicago, but I'm actually from the East Coast. I'm from New Hampshire originally, born and raised.
And that's where you started skating?
Yeah, that's where I started skating. Yeah, Southern New Hampshire. My hometown had a lot of good spots. Kind of our little, like every kind of place, or generally every place has their own like almost like plaza-esque spot. Ours was the public library. It was the best spot in my hometown. So it was basically all stair sets and then like a wall gap or a wall drop and then handrails. So it was a 5-stair that led to a 3-stair that curved around and led to a 7-stair with a rail. Or if you kept going straight, there was like a foot and a half tall like little wall, and then you would ollie over or do a trick over that down a drop. There was a fountain you could skate as a ledge there, and then like a 10-stair to a 9-stair. So that's where I learned how to skate stairs when I was a kid, and we were there every day. But yeah, and then after that, just kind of like going to Boston every now and again, and occasionally New York when I could.
How long did it take you to get to Boston?
Oh, not long. Like, I mean, it's from my hometown, it's about on a good drive is like 35 minutes. On like traffic, like an hour maybe.
Oh, that's not.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Yeah. So there would be like, as I got older, there was a bus that went straight from my hometown to Boston, so that was like an hour trip. So
I get so lost with like New England geography. I'm like, the only thing I know about New Hampshire is I went to Rye once.
Oh yeah, Rye Airfield, right? Yeah. I actually never went there. But there's always like footage. There is. My hometown's called Nashua. So it's like the most southern you get in the middle of New Hampshire before you hit Massachusetts.
Okay.
There's a skate park there. It got demolished and rebuilt somewhere else, but it was called very creatively New Park, because it was the second skate park built. But there is a Toy Machine demo filmed there in their Berserker tour video, and it's funny because like every place I go to in the video, they name the town, but for that skate park, they just say somewhere in the middle of nowhere, New Hampshire, or something like that. And I'm like, cool, okay. Live in Chicago now for like 5 or 6 years. Love it here. It's nice.
Good to skate.
Yeah, good to skate. Great to skate. Downtown's fantastic, although I haven't been in a while. But again, it's been winter, so probably. I honestly, when I kind of started skating again after like not doing it for so long, I picked the very worst skate park in the city to do it at. There's like this awful skate park under a bridge. We kind of call it Pigeon Park because it's just littered with pigeon shit. But it kind of teaches you not to fall there though. So you kind of just like have to like learn to just land everything because you don't want to slide into like wet pigeon shit. Yeah. Most of it's dry, but sometimes there's like a fresh pile, you know what I mean? Oh. But it's also just like a horribly built park. Like I'll send you a video or a photo of it sometime. It's the mani pad is like almost in a smile shape now because the middle is just so sunken in, and like one of the sides is gone from it. Like all the wooden quarter pipes have like holes in them, and it's just horrible. But for some reason, growing up at the park that I grew up at, like the crappier park in my hometown, like I just have an affinity for like bad skate parks. For whatever reason, I just love them, and so I also just love anywhere with a mani pad and like a ledge. So,
well, you guys have that one too. It's like was it a school or something that they let you skate at? It was the one Pat Washington skated in the Western Edition video.
Yeah, Clemente. Yeah, Clemente. Okay. Hi. Yeah, which I actually live close to now. So once the weather gets better, I'll probably be there more often.
That's cool.
It's super fun. It's kind of less of a street spot. Like it used to be like a street, like being told the history of the spot, because I obviously didn't grow up around it, but it used to be more of a street spot. And now it's like Nike put benches in there and stuff, and like people will bring like obstacles. So it's kind of just more of like a DIY skate park, but super fun.
It's like the Blue Park of Chicago.
Basically, yeah. Basically.
There you go. Did you go to Blue Park when you were out here?
I did. I went twice, and
You got to skate it before they took everything away.
yeah, it's all under the bridge now, right?
Yeah, they moved everything.
Yeah, I skated there twice. I don't think I did anything significant, and then just like hung out, watched some people, and then moved on.
That was my favorite park. So we got a question here from Danny Garcia, Tangar, not
Not the pro.
not the real Danny Garcia.
Man, you're gonna give him a complex. You keep doing that.
The other.
I'm sure I'm
Garcia,
not
yeah.
alone. I'm sure he's fooled many a people. All right, current board setup.
Oh, mine would be the DOA 8-1 Venture trucks. I don't know, whatever size that fits it. I don't know. And then what do I have for wheels right now? I think I'm just riding Spitfire Classics. I think 53s.
Vert wheels.
Yeah, basically.
Oh my God.
But I also have like I have like a few setups. You know what I mean? Like I guess that's my everyday. Then I've got like a cruiser board that's fucking huge and fat, 60mm soft wheels. And then I've got that 7.5.
Yeah, quiver. And Mitch, you have a quiver too, right?
No,
You just have one?
I just have like a filmer board and that I keep in my car.
Mitch, what are you riding these days?
So either an 825 DOA or abstract collage board, 5.8 Ventures, working class wheels. Brandon and those guys from Nocturnal, that they started a wheel company. And then Swiss bearings always. Thanks, Vern. That's it. Nothing special. 52s.
Vert wheels. Everybody I know has vert wheels. I should get
You're
on.
going to be on vert wheels too, because they're not going to keep making 50s.
No, they're not. It's Formula. They make Formula 450s. I try whenever I see them. I try and or I'll hit up these shops like, get 2 sets. I'll order them. I should start.
Yeah,
becoming an adult.
Especially because you live in New York and the ground is so shitty. I don't understand how you
it sucks.
ride
I just
50s.
can't hit the damn nose or tail, and I get crazy wheel bite because I ride lows. I'm like set up to fail.
mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like when I was riding 50s and then just getting more tricks back and getting back and just like skating down the street more often. I was like, all right, I'm just gonna get something a little bigger.
I don't know. It's like I'm torturing myself doing it. I should get bigger wheels. Lots of wax on the wheel wells. That's like a trick.
Also, fun fact: the board that I'm riding, the DOA board, I made the mistake of walking into the skate shop, Uprise, after the DOA edit came out, and they all watched me with my one clip, and they were just like, "Oh, nice board."
And we're not available in that shop.
Yeah, it was just funny. I was like, oh man, okay, yeah.
But they knew you already? Like they knew who you were?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, I mean, like Chicago's pretty small. Like the skate team's not super. I mean, there's a ton of people here who skate, but like that's like the kind of like the biggest core shop. So like it's small community. Everyone knows everyone.
Everybody knows everybody.
Yeah, like I don't really tell people who I am like on Instagram, but like obviously people here know who I am.
Oh, you don't introduce yourself and be like, "Hey."
Yeah, hey. No, oh, actually, that's another fun story. I went to FA skate shop, and I'm with a friend of mine, and I'm just like, he's buying shit, and I'm just looking because they have a look back library, so I'm just having a good time looking at old ads. And my friend just goes, "Oh yeah, that's my friend. He he does Blatant Nostalgia. He's probably just looking for stuff." And I'm like, "Oh fuck, don't do that to me." Because then obviously they come over and they're like, "Oh yeah, you should look at this one." And I'm just like, I just didn't want to be bothered. I just wanted to look at this mag in peace.
Well, John, who runs that shop's awesome. John at FA, John Schmolt.
Yeah, super.
Dude.
Yeah, super nice.
Yeah, he's one of the good guys. That always sucks. They put you on the spot,
Yeah, I was just like, I mean, like, it's just funny. It was just funny, but I was just like, don't look at me.
He's lying. Don't listen to him.
Exactly.
Well, Tangar has another one. Favorite trick to do?
Ooh, easy. Overall, I think crooked grinds, like just backside crooked grinds, but lately, like the last year and a half, back nose grinds. Either from the side or straight on if I can get the whole edge, but back nose grinds for sure. They're just fun and easy.
Says you.
Yeah.
I kind of just like learned them like this over the last like year and a half, but I do them everywhere now. Anytime I
Yeah,
find a
when you
ledge,
get something like that.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And now I'm slowly starting to like, I mean, winter hit, so I haven't really been skating, but I'm slowly starting to like try and do things out of that, like, you know, back 180s out or like shove it's out, or God forbid I try and do something into it, but I am not a flick into grind person.
I've always been amazed at those people.
Yeah, me too.
Which do you have a post like that you remember that got the most feedback, positive or negative?
Oh yeah, I mean, like the first post I ever made that kind of like took off, I guess. I posted Adam McNatt doing that 50-50 down that makeshift rail he built with a nollie flip out, and I think all I wrote was "This is 1997," and that just fucking like at the time I think I don't remember how many followers I had, but not that many, and like my posts were getting maybe on average like 100, maybe 200 likes, and that thing got like 2,000, and I was like, holy shit. Why?
Adam McNatt on the homemade rail. It was like one of those curved rails. He made it like it was down a grass.
Yeah, it like went down. You know what I mean?
Yeah, roller coaster.
He had an Osiris.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was.
Was
like
it Evil or Osiris?
Yeah, it was like the inch. Yeah, it was like. Oh, I don't remember.
It was so.
It's funny, Steve. That dude Kenyatta that I mentioned last week listened to the podcast and was like, "I can't believe you guys were hating on Adam McNatt."
I can. Man,
but it's just so funny. I'm like that. You listened to the whole podcast, and that was the thing you picked up on. Is that
it's crazy.
Steve hated on Adam McNatt.
He was an amazing skater, but he was just, I don't know, man, just like all over the place.
Yeah. But
Even
outside of that, I mean, it's weird the ones that get traction. I don't know. Like the most liked post I've ever had was Aaron Harrison, and like if I asked anybody, no one would know who the fuck that is. But you know, the dude from Zero from yeah. So like his part from Thrill of It All, I posted the whole part and like 8,000 likes.
Jesus.
I have no. Yeah.
Where were those likes when that guy was a sponsored skater?
Exactly.
You know, it's so funny. All I remember of him is like off of like it was like off of like a container or something, and he went into the bank. It was like a sideways bank. He did something. Like
he just did ollie. He just ollied. Ollied into it.
Yeah, I just remember him doing something like. Well, then.
Well, it's memorable because he does
tail
like,
dropped one, right?
There's like 9. Oh, maybe.
Like into a big bank. There's one he did like a backside 360 or something off of this. It's like a shipping container or something, or like a top of a building, and then the bank goes sideways at it, like a ledge to sell.
I know what you're talking about, but I don't know if that was him or somebody else.
Oh, shows how bad I am.
Yeah, because like all I can picture is like the ending of that part is him like falling off of shipping container, but it's memorable because there's like 9 like no makes before he actually like makes it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
like he's just like kicking. He's kicking out, and then he's like slamming, and then whatever. But yeah, that, and then I don't know. I always thought it was funny when you get into the comments, Steve, about the no grip, so not a hard flip.
Oh God, yeah, I get like death threats. Just because not all hard, I get the comments are the best. Like not all hard flips flip, and it's like, well, it's called a hard flip. Well, it's a different style. Like, oh my God.
To be fair, I did punish you by posting your own clips, so it's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll you know what? I'll like when this comes out, I'm gonna find that post again and reshare it.
Yeah. Oh God. I don't mind though, because it's like that's like one of the tricks I can do. Like gun to my head, I could go and do a hard flip, and I think they flip. So it's not like
I don't think I've ever landed one. No. Like maybe like a shitty like kind of pressury like a non-hard flip, but I don't think I've ever landed like a good clean hard flip in my life.
Yeah, I remember there was, what was it? Was it Mako Urabe? And he did one like tail grab, or it was like pop shove.
Yeah.
It might have even been a pop shove a tail grab. Like I don't think there was a caption, and people were like hard flip tail grab. I was like, that's not a hard flip, and then that was like, yeah, people get very sensitive about the illusion hard flips.
Oh, dude, Mike does hard flip. Well, did in the skate park days. We do hard flip roast beef grabs all the time.
Oh my God,
it's like hysterical. So such a wild looking, like it wings out and kind of flips, and your hand grabs it and flips it the rest of the way over. Like
I always wondered what makes people even do tricks like that. Like, what thought process led you to that trick?
I feel like it's got to be like something just kind of happens on accident. You're like, oh, this could be a thing, even if it's like the ugliest looking thing ever.
Well, Mike is Mitch's friend who was pro for Mini Logo.
Oh, dude, yeah, I was during the height of like the board shortage. I went to go visit my hometown. Like I went like a trip to Boston and to visit my hometown, and went into the skate shop, like the first shop I'd ever been to, Eastern Border, and like they had nothing but Mini Logos because that's all they could get, and that was bummed me because I didn't bring a board to skate because I was like, oh, I'll buy something from the shop, and so I had to buy a Mini Logo.
No, did you like it?
Honestly, I'm gonna tell you, I totally did. I landed so like for some reason I could land flip tricks like nothing else on that board. It was magical, the magical Mini Logo, and then I broke it like a week or two later.
I want to say there's almost that thing when you get a board and you're forced to buy something you don't want. Usually it'll end up turning out decent. Maybe it's because I don't care if I fuck up on this and I ruin my grip tape. I don't know. Maybe I'm like a diva with that stuff,
exactly.
but like I don't care. And it's like you get that out of your head, like, not, I love this board, I want to keep it new or whatever. And it's just like, oh, this board, of course, was great. Like I remember having a Birdhouse Steve Barrow board, like double the worst. It was sitting at the shop forever, and I was like, you know what, I'll just grab it. And I remember I was like, this board's really good. I just covered it up with stickers, but I remember being like, this board's awesome. And like I didn't want it. Mitch, you ever have a board you didn't want to buy and bought? Or let's play this one. Worst board you've ever bought?
Oh man, I'm trying to think. What did I really hate? Do you know what I hated? I'm sure this was like totally in your wheelhouse of things you liked, but I randomly tried a girl board in that era where I was skating like only zero boards. But it was when that series, it was like a girl series where it was like when they first started doing like the actual girl logo on the board, and it had like all the measurements written on it in the middle in like weird text.
Oh yeah.
And it was a Brian Anderson, like green and black one. And I remember taking it to X Park and I fell ollieing to 50-50. Like when I first got there, like just ollieing to 50-50, like this bump to ledge, and dragging my shins across the ledge, like ripped both my shins apart. And it was like, I couldn't, like, I just missed my tail completely. It was like just not the board I should have skated at all.
What'd you end up doing with it?
I smashed it into 1,000 pieces right after that. I had I was an asshole. Like I had such a temper when it came to like shit like that. I stomped way too many boards and wasted way too much money.
It's part of being young.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I remember being a kid, not understanding skate like board sizes, and I bought a flip, like an Artosauri flip board, just based on the graphic. And at the time, I think like I was used to skating, like I had to assume was like 7.5s or 7.6s or something, and this board wasn't like an 8 or something bigger than an 8, and I didn't realize it until like I went to the skate park, set it up, and like started skating. I was like, and it was the worst because I couldn't do anything on it. It felt so heavy.
Worst feeling. Like you go to buy a board and it's just like, ugh.
But again, my fault for being not like I should have just asked, like, but I think now, honestly, I bought like when like I was going through like size 8 boards, I bought an FA board just to try it out, and fucking the worst board. I really hated it.
Board shape.
Yeah, it's like the nose on it was. I mean, I have friends that love them, but they also ride like 8.5. So maybe for a bit when they're bigger, like they feel better. But like on an 8, it was just awful. I really hated it. I think I skated it for like a week, and then I think I just like chipped the nose on it and just like said fuck this board and never touched it again.
Now I have the opposite side of that where I got a board that I wasn't expecting to like, and I absolutely loved it. And it was Durrell had a real board that looked like a Duracell battery. Like the whole nose was just like copper colored.
Oh yeah.
And I wasn't skating deluxe boards or anything at that point. But I was like, oh, this board's really cool. Like I remember I was at a contest, and Fairman's skate shop had a mini skate shop in this skate park. And Andrew Cannon worked there, but he was hurt at that point. His knee was like blown out or something. And I was just going in and like, bullshitting with him during the contest. And I looked at this board. I'm like, man, this shape looks really great. Like, well, so like an hour later, he brought it out to me and was like, oh yeah, I just put it on my tab. He's like, I'm not skating. And he's like, I have like a allowance of boards that I get through, the shop every month. And he just like checked it off and he's like, try this. Let me know what you think. And I wound up skating that board like 7 times in a row. Something about that shape was like everything worked.
That's cool.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. I'd never get that lucky.
Yeah, me either.
I had a stack of sour boards recently, and because like during the wood shortage and whatnot, and like so I had no boards, and I started going through everything, and I fell in love with these sour boards, but I ordered so many, so I was like calling every shop like I knew, and I remember like even Comfort in Tennessee, I was like, Chris, you have a sour account? And he's like, yeah. I was like, I want this shape, and get me 6 of them, of whatever's this shape. And online it said one thing. They have like a thing where they have like, they'll say like S1, S2, and it's like I think the S3 is like mellow concave 8.2. So he ordered me, it sucked though. It was like, I got Barney Page boards, and I'm like another guy, like least favorite skater, Barney Page. And so I had 3 of those and 3 Gustav boards. I was hyped. I was like, oh, Gustav. And the Gustav ones were S4, so it was a different board, like it was mislabeled on the website. So those were terrible. The Barney boards were good, but it was Barney Page board. I was just like, oh, like the worst dude. But I love those boards. They're so good. But even still, so I had so many of them, and there was like ones that were flatter, and I guess in the stack or whatever. So there's some I was like, this one looks steeper than the rest. Like I took all the flat ones first, and but they were good. But it just sucked riding a Barney Page board. Hard to get hyped. Barney Page. That's life. But Mike, we're gonna get going. It was good having you on. Maybe we'll have you on again some other time.
Yeah, thanks, man.
We'll make
it's too bad people can't see. It's too bad people can't see us. We could be like, well, from San Francisco to space to Mitch's bedroom. So long.
We got all the corners of the universe covered.
But yeah, thanks. It was fun.
Awesome. Anybody you want to like shout out or anything?
Just thank you for having me. And it's just wild just to think that 3 years ago I started this thing, and now I'm talking to fucking more nerds about it.
Yeah,
I love it.
20,000 followers, man.
Yeah, it's wild to me.
You're gonna get a check mark soon.
No, see,
you're almost there, dude.
Won't happen. It won't happen.
No, 20 million followers. That's what you're gonna have after this one. But yeah, so
exactly.
And for those of you out there who haven't seen it, it's at Blatant Nostalgia. Relive life in the early 2000s and give or take. Also, you get a little up and a little down from there, but a lot of good memories on here, man. So thanks for doing what you do.
You're welcome.
Cool. And then I guess that's it. We'll leave with some music, and all of the music for this episode is going to come from Mike. So if you don't like it, you can leave him nasty messages on his Instagram.
If you were an angel, I would cut off your wings to keep you with me. I would do anything, like broken bottles that slip from drunken hands. I've watched my star falling and shatter on the ground. First you wash your hair, then you wash your hands. Oh yeah, I think I understand. Untouchable if I'm not fit to even crawl if I'm too sick. I'll soak my skin in alcohol until I feel untouchable. Untouchable if I'm not fit to even crawl if I'm too sick. I'll soak my skin in alcohol until I feel untouchable. I blew my chances as you blow-dried your hair. I thought of my answers as you walk down the stairs. Do you think I'll defile you timid to get too close. Do you think I'll infect you? Do you think I'll give you a dose? First you wash your hair, then you wash your hands. Oh yeah, I think I understand.